The Last of Us 2 made a shit ton of money. It must be good. Wrong.
See, there's a sequel. Wasn't as good.
By the way, somebody did make that argument. Somebody went and fucking did it. I don't have to explain why that argument is stupid, right? This is like saying Transformers is peak art. I mean, it is, but that's beside the point. I played through The Last of Us 2 and it left me feeling unacceptable! It's really unsatisfying. So why is it bad? Was it the gameplay? No, I had fun with it, not gonna lie. Sneaking around, blowing people up was really satisfying. I had fun with the Shawshank Redemption of video games. Oh, my bad. The Schindler's List of video. Oh, I remember this scene from Schindler's List when Schindler just killed everyone who looked at him funny. This motherfucking game is a revenge story. It has more in common with John Wick. Oh no. So, if we're gonna understand why the story is so Terribad, we gotta break down the plot, study the characters, and distill the reason as to why this pile of shit is a pile of shit. And if you don't like this review, I'm not gonna be worried, guys. I know you'll forgive me, won't you? Oh, by the way, we're gonna spoil everything, okay? The Last of Us 1, The Last of Us 2. So let's jump right in, shall we? So the prologue of the game is pretty slow and tedious. I replayed through the plot just to show you the number of hours it takes to get to the first part of the main game. 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to get here. When you compare this to the intro of The Last of Us 1, which was around, 10-15 minutes, it sets up one character, and it set him up perfectly. Joel loses the person he loves the most. And he survives through this apocalypse several years later as a jaded asshole.
Marlene set us up? Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
The intro of the second game is a grind because there are 3 focal characters that are needed to set up the plot. Joel, since his decision in the ending of the first game is important. Abby, the new protagonist. If the internet hasn't spoiled you about the secret third character, the game itself does that for you. And Ellie, the other protagonist, who is given an important plot item in the second game.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself.
That's what's happening to Ellie through the course of the game. You know what I liked about the first game? The foreshadowing was subtle. Like the chapter with Henry and Sam, you find notes in the sewer about this good-intentioned guy that builds a community underground. But despite his good intentions, he fails to save the people and even gets killed. Kind of what happens to Henry and Sam.
That's my fucking brother! Sam. Henry? Ellie, stay there. Henry? Okay? Oh, okay, easy.
Is it your fault?
This is nobody's fault, Henry.
It's all your fault!
Henry! Henry, no!
During winter, in the beginning, the rabbit was shot. Something cute, something innocent was taken away just like that, which is a mirror to what happens to Ellie. At the end of that chapter, it feels like something inside her broke.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself.
The foreshadowing in this game is as subtle as a golf club to the head. Boom, baby! Ellie time, and Ellie time is boring as fuck. I get it. I get it. It's introducing game mechanics as you go along the narrative, but the Ellie part of the intro is basically a cutscene with the added audacity of making you play through it.
Oh, you like that?
Okay, like the first 2 hours of Death Stranding were, I think most of 80% of it was cutscenes, but at least it's a cutscene, right? Here, you gotta walk to some point to get the privilege of pressing triangle to get the privilege of watching a cutscene.
Bigot sandwiches.
Wow.
Also, there's this setup where there's a potential character building moment, which is not shown on screen.
I'm trying to say I'm sorry.
So there was off-screen drama, and this guy is feeling sorry. Whether or not he's genuinely sorry, or it's because he wants to maintain group cohesion because he doesn't want to piss off Maria, that's another thing. What I do want to see is what actually happened, because then I would see if Ellie's reaction is justified. Because honestly, it makes Ellie look like a bitch.
Made you some sandwiches.
Okay.
Your steak.
This is a post-apocalyptic setting. He's giving her steak. This is subjugation. This is, I'm sorry, queen. How can an aggrieved person come across as the bitch, you know? If the scene was actually shown, perhaps that would be good. Perhaps I would feel Ellie's anger. I don't even know what he said at this point, right?
What we do here is go back.
Hey, this is a family event.
Sorry.
Remember next time there's kids around.
Yeah, like you're setting such a great example.
Oh, just what this town needs. Another loudmouth guy.
Hello? Base department. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy right there.
Fuck did you just say?
Ellie, Ellie, don't.
Get the hell out of here.
Get your hands off me.
Come on, you. Let's go for a walk.
What about them?
You worry about yourself.
Let's get you some fresh air.
You alright, kiddo?
What is wrong with you?
He had no right.
And you do?
Yes.
Thanks to the magic of editing, I've shown you that scene. But when you play the game normally, it will take you hours into the game before you could even glimpse it. Maybe if you show this now, it would have been nice. Seth was being a dick. You could probably get behind Ellie. However, the scene is presented after playing both through Abby and Ellie's perspectives. Honestly, when you get to that point, Seth doesn't seem that bad of a guy. Wrong Seth. Wrong Seth again. Of course, the problem is you just show this scene as the prologue. You don't understand why Ellie would be pissed at Joel. And also, you wouldn't get that ultra important guitar scene which will be relevant in the ending of the game. The way the flashbacks are used in this game, not all the flashbacks are bad, but mostly they're bad. Part in making a good story is the way you tell it, and really the flashbacks hurt more than help the plot.
Eat it, shrimps!
Okay. So after Dina gets killed by these children, we get to the perspective of Abigail. She has these dreams and nightmares which will figure later on in her story section.
Is this it?
We made it.
Holy shit. It's a fucking city.
It's a lot of people.
We can figure it out.
Okay. Assuming he's in there, how do we get to him?
Well, they're after someone. While the game hasn't said outright who she's after, without the spoilers from the internet, it's pretty obvious that someone is Joel. Someone is hunting someone, and the intro shows Joel killing someone. Someone is Joel. Minutes into the game, we establish Abby's character as some sort of cunt. The leader decides it's a bad idea to just barge in there with what, 6, 7, 8 people? The whole town? Smart! Good decision. Abby, gosh darn it, is driven enough to pursue her goal anyway. Logic be damned. She stupidly throws herself into danger with no plan in the pursuit of vengeance. Can't complain that the plan is dumb if there is no plan. Right, Neil?
This is a bad idea, Abby.
Yeah, sure, she can acknowledge the stupidity, but acknowledging the stupidity doesn't change the fact that it's dumb. In fact, I hate it when they say it like, not like in a comedy, when this is a bad idea and something funny or adventurous comes up. The context of this whole game is that it's a serious dark, depressing story about the brutality of human nature. And you're just winging it. Maybe come up with a better idea. One that doesn't strand you in the middle of fucking nowhere, where your allies don't even know where the fuck you are. I hope her own resourcefulness and cleverness bails her out of this situation. Oh, I can only hope. So Dina and Ellie go on patrol, and I can really feel the sexual tension cutting the air like a knife.
You never really talked to me about Kat. Yeah, because there isn't much to talk about. Yow. You want to see something spectacular?
You're gonna point at your face, aren't you?
No. The relationship doesn't feel like it's a relationship. It feels like we missed out on something and we're supposed to just believe that they like each other. Okay. I guess that's fine. I guess it's fine for Ellie to have made out with this girl and they'd go on together in a death mission just because they made out, right?
No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything.
I didn't say that. The game said that. The game is threatening to have good writing. You could say that there's build-up to the relationship in the first day of Seattle.
You should have kissed me then. I wanted to.
I don't think she should even be there. It doesn't make sense. I didn't buy the relationship. I would have minded if the relationship grew in front of my eyes, you know? Kind of like the first game, where the relationship between Joel and Ellie built across a year. This is just like, oh, we're supposed to read a journal and figure out that Ellie has a crush on this girl since forever. Wow, what a well-written and developed romance. The cynical part of me is looking at why they forced this Dina interaction as we need a replacement for Joel. That's what I'm thinking. I think there was a character that could have fit the dynamic of Ellie and someone else, and in some other game, it escapes my mind right now as to what game that is. I can't seem to think of it clearly at this point. By the way, Ellie is making the moves on her friend's ex, which is bad. Like, from a moral perspective, from a bro code perspective, you do not do that shit.
You kissed Dina?
Oh. I thought this...
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on my girl?
Oh.
In the Philippines, there is this rule, which I hold sacred and dear, the 3-month rule.
Mas maghihintay ka muna, 3 buwan. Diba, 3 buwan bago ka makapag-boyfriend ulit.
What the fuck? Like, oh, but he says it's fine.
You and me? Yeah, of course. Dina and I are done.
Honestly, I'm surprised at how nice Jessie is. And when you really think about it, if I didn't know any better, Dina was just baiting boys and Ellie so that Jessie could be jealous.
Jessie?
But Jessie's like, fuck off.
I hate these things.
Maybe that's why he's nice. He doesn't want to deal with Dina's bullshit. I'd like to think that's what happens. While Jessie and Ellie's relationship really isn't that developed as well. They're just also friends and we don't really see that friendship develop. I think I like Jesse just because he's so nice. He's too nice for his own good.
I think I'd let you do this on your own.
I hope nothing bad happens to him. I really hope. So after some misadventures, they get snowed in and they find a marijuana shrubbery. They literally go dude weed lamau and they grind their gears, if you catch my drift. Play with scissors. I wonder how Abby is doing. Oh, it turns out that having no plan is a bad idea. Surprise, surprise! Luckily, she gets her ass saved by Joel. Or unluckily, depending on how you look at it.
We're gonna have to run!
I'm just gonna leave this counter here. We'll talk about it later. So battle is joined, and they get away, but Abby notices something.
Hey, I'm Tommy. That's Joe. Tommy, we cannot stay here! Horses ain't making it all that way!
My friends are at a mansion just north of here. It's fenced in, we have the whole perimeter secure.
They escape, and it's clear to the audience that the assembled hunters are there for Joel, and they like to point out that Abby is
Nothing but lucky.
And you have no idea.
I wonder what's going to happen to the guys at this point in the game. Immediately, I have problems here, okay? And if you're with me so far, we have problems, okay? Tommy being dumb. Tommy has a clear view that Abby has the shotty.
I'm Mel, by the way.
Tommy, this is my brother.
Joe.
From his angle, he could clearly see that Abby has the shotgun, okay? Not only that, he saw the reaction of the people when Joel said his name. He just looked at it? He just watched? A bit too late, bro.
Like you heard of us or something.
Joel being dumb. Joel's intro in The Last of Us established that Joel is kind of an asshole.
Let's see what they need. What do you think you're doing? Keep driving.
I got a kid, Joel.
So do we.
But we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy.
Morality can go fuck itself. Remember the ending of The Last of Us?
Okay.
Well, yeah, that and this scene.
Wait! Let me go! Please.
You just come after her.
He's Mr. Suspicious.
What about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
It was at this moment that he knew he
What's your name?
Why?
Who do you think taught her that shit? Do not even react when people are suspicious when they heard his name.
Like you heard of us or something.
And he just goes, oh, I guess I'm famous, Omega lol. That is such... He didn't even warn Tommy to go, Tommy, look out! Or Tommy, get the guns! Or he just... A smidgen of caution, just even a smidge, would have been nice. Well, you could argue that Joel becomes nice and cools down during his time in Jackson. All I can think of is no.
I think I see a way through, but we got spores. Put your mask on.
Do I have to? It's just us.
What if we run into someone?
Okay, fine.
You gotta be smart about this. You start wearing that mask, kiddo, and eventually you're gonna slip up in front of someone you shouldn't.
I've never slipped.
You ain't told nobody new, have you? Not Jesse or Dina or...
Of course not.
Okay, good.
In fact, he's even more protective of his baby girl.
Your old man really laid into me today.
What happened?
Another big lecture about my patrols. Don't go here, don't go there. It's funny how involved he gets whenever you're scheduled to go out.
It's just weird that these two people who have survived the apocalypse, being jaded, being cynical, suddenly drop that. It's kind of like the character acting in service of the plot rather than the character acting as they were in order to move the story forward. It feels like that.
You still remember how to kill, right?
Yeah.
They play up the moment Abby reveals her vengeance with drama.
Joel Miller.
Like, I like how Joel goes, huh? Who did I piss off now? Get in line. Who doesn't want to kill Joel? Bitch, get on with it. No, please, don't. Just kidding. Making Abby look bad. Really fucking bad. Abby just killed someone by beating them to death with a golf club. After shooting him in the leg with a shotgun and having the same shit tourniqueted. Just so she could torture him some more.
You don't get to rush this.
That's a bad look. I mean, it feels gratuitous and excessive. There are pretty violent moments in The Last of Us 1 that have more emotional weight even though you don't see the actual act.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run. You want us to just leave you here? Yes.
There's no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things.
I felt that in my heart. We don't even get to see David's corpse, his mangled head, when Ellie does the deed. But that was a really effective, restrained, dramatic moment. You don't have to show this shit. You could argue that it's a device to fuel Ellie's roaring rampage of revenge. By extension, share that emotion to the players. One thing I was asking myself was, what would drive her to this extent, you know? I could tell that the person Joel killed in the intro is related to that reason as to why she killed Joel. But knowing the exact reason would help make this whole sequence make sense, right? Yes, but at the same time, no! Actually knowing the context makes this killing worse. The someone that Joel killed is Abby's dad, so she goes on this manhunt with her friends to kill him. But you know what Joel doesn't do, right? Torture her dad first. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. Canonically, Abby's dad is stabbed in the neck with a scalpel. Guys, Abby's dad looks weird. When I compare these two murders, they're disproportionate. Also, the first game, if you don't really do anything in this scene, the game fucking kills you. The Last of Us 2 is punishing The Last of Us 1 because Joel had to kill the guy. This is such bullshit.
Fucking get up! Please stop!
Also, you're hearing this girl pleading to let this guy live. You'd probably think that Abby could relate to that. Could relate to a loved one taken away in front of them. You'd think she'd... What a great way to start the game. Having the other playable character kill the main character of the first game in such a psychotic way. You know why she doesn't have the jacket, right? Because she's been torturing him for so long, she got hot in the cold weather. Good job, game. Really great move. This just shows Abby being slightly sadistic. Just a smidge sadistic. I guess it's consistent with her character. Good. We'll get to that. I fucking love Joel from the first game. And if you're like me, that scene would probably have been hard to watch. And for some people, that might be their time to go. You know, like just fuck this fucking game. Also, she just killed the person who helped her stay alive, literally. I remember that one incident with the cannibal guy where he pretended to be friendly and supportive and all that shit, but really it was a ruse so he could just do whatever he wants with Ellie afterwards. I'm not saying outright that Abby has more in common with this cannibal. Oh no. That's not to say that the main protagonist of the first game is a good guy.
How did you know
Know what?
about the ambush?
I've been on both sides.
Oh. So, you kill a lot of innocent people? I'll take that as a yes.
Take it however you want.
By the time we actually see him do like really fucked up shit to other people, it was contextualized as having to save Ellie. Get the player to side with the character first before they do something bad. Don't know about loss. This shit ain't rocket science. You did it in the first game. You know what isn't rocket science? Making Ellie look dumb. Oh, you got this person dead to rights. You got the gun pointed at her. And you go inside to confront her?
You gotta be smart about this.
What was your thought process here? What, you were gonna have a talk? Shall we have a dialogue about the wholly cold and satisfying journey that one goes through to the pursuit of vengeance? Indubitably, good lady. Let us try and advance the ludonarrative field by weaving a tale of remorse, revenge, and regret. I don't know about you guys, but seeing someone I care about, I have a weapon from a position where I could just defend them, I'ma just shoot the fuck. No questions asked, like... Oh yeah, the counter. Remember this, kids. The story is going out of its way to keep Abby alive. Remember this. Lastly, people being dumb.
Fucking kill you!
Whoa, what are you doing? Manny, cleaning up. No. We're here for him, that's it. It's too risky to leave them alive. Too fucking bad.
Why don't they kill them? If you're gonna do something wrong, do it right. Have I also mentioned how combat ready these soldiers are when they see their friend from far away that just has a horde of zombies and they got their weapons prepared? However, these elite soldiers are dumb enough to have their uniforms on in what is, I would like to think, for all intents and purposes, a Black Ops mission.
Washington Liberation Front. That's what you said was on those patches.
They are so good that they forgot to post people outside.
Fuck your face. You should have been guarding the upstairs like I told you to.
Thank you, game. At least you remember that part. Abby has this glorious reaction when she realizes her actions have consequences.
We let you both live. And you wasted it!
Why do you have the sense of moral superiority when you literally tortured and killed someone they loved in front of them? Can we also just appreciate the fact that Abby killed this guy's brother and it didn't cross her mind that they would try to avenge him? Even though that's exactly the same fucking thing she did with her dad's situation? I just said I'm gonna fucking kill you all! Ignore that! Ignore that!
We're done.
This sets up the revenge plot, incompetently setting it up. I have to emphasize here, while I did not like the brutal death of Joel, I could accept it if it was handled well, and I have shown you, hopefully, the reasons why I don't believe this scene happening at all.
Like you heard of us.
People continue to make dumb decisions in order to move this plot forward. And there's like no justification for it. Let's say they were actually going to try to kill Ellie and Tommy. But what if people came just in the nick of time and they had to go and they just knocked them out? Something like that. But to let this girl live who's shouting, "I'm gonna kill you all," after you just went out of the way from fucking Washington to Jackson just to kill one guy, and they didn't think that she would retaliate?
Too fucking bad.
You have to ask yourself, why did these writers do the story this way?
But I think ultimately we start from theme more than anything else, so...
Druckmann and Company took 7 years to make a game that's all about an exploration of the cycle of violence. A lot of stories in this genre are very pulpy, says Druckmann. For us, the goal is to make it very character-driven and focus on themes that exist outside the genre. Themes that exist outside the genre. Themes that exist outside the genre. Please, sirs, forgive me. My allergies acted up. I'm sensitive to bullshit. Having a theme for a story is not a bad idea. In fact, if you execute it properly in a medium, in any medium, it's gonna be a beautiful fucking thing, right?
You're goddamn right.
However, I think the focus of the team with the theme is at the expense of the story and the characters. And with that prologue shit out of the way, let's get into the characters. Let's start with Ellie. I wonder who that could be at the door. Oh, what you doing here? Happy hashtag Last of Us Day. Aren't you glad that you're part of this wonderful universe of wonderfulness?